In the 250 division, finishing in third, riding for Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, Austin Faulkner. Finishing in second, riding for Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha, Dylan Ferrandis. And your winner, first-time winner, riding for Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha, Justin Cooper. Congrats, Austin. In that main event, you had the lead. You and Justin kind of going a little bit back and forth in time and had the mistake, jumped off to the right there. What was going through your mind in the air? Did you know you were coming down on the blocks? And right there for the next 5-10 seconds, what was your response to the mistake that you made? Didn't obviously go down all the way, but somewhat kept it on two wheels. And just take us through those 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, I thought I was going to go down. It just depends kind of how you land on the tough blocks. Sometimes if you land like on them, they'll just roll and then the bike goes. But I didn't land on them. I just scraped my pegs all the way and then until I finally just stopped. And then obviously I knew Justin was going to get by me. And then I didn't really know who was back in like third or fourth. But then Dylan came and got me, and I was just trying to like not. I was trying to not fall all the way down. So I kind of had to get off the bike, and then the bike shot to the left, and if I would have turned around, I would have been basically facing I could have turned around, but I would have been I could see guys coming down the rhythm lane, so I was like I went and I entered the track. I thought a pretty safe way. I kind of like got Dylan back, so I waited and he went, and then I just tucked him behind him, and that was that.
So you knew that you had made the cut. It looked like you slowed down a little bit to make sure you went back to third.
Yeah, I slowed up. In those situations, it's hard to know exactly the right thing to do, especially like I knew that I missed. Like I was already pissed that I, gave up the lead, and then second. And then I was like, okay, I just get back on the track and get back in the race, basically. So it was just a quick decision. I thought, I thought I made the right decision. I don't know that decision's probably higher up than me. It's going to be made there, but whatever.
Dylan, you mentioned to me on the podium that the early laps, you were maybe trying a little too hard, making some mistakes. And can you just take us back to those first few laps? Because you sat there in that maybe 5, 6, 7 spot for a couple laps, and was it the mistakes or just kind of figuring out where you were? It did take you a little while to get going and make those moves.
Yeah, but start again, and just see the guy in front and try to hurry up a little bit, maybe too much. Made some small mistake and stuck in the traffic. So lose a little bit time, and after when I was third. I push, but I don't know, today I just ride a little bit tight. During the main, I ride a little bit tight. I don't know, maybe, I think it's just because it's the first of the season and it's A1 and a lot of pressure and a lot of goal and stuff like that. So, just a little bit disappointed, not about the result, but more my riding because I should ride better. And, second, like last year. It's a little bit disappointed for me, but last year start like this and finish with the championship. So we see we have a lot of we have a nine race to go, and we see. But everything is all light or green, and just have to take the win next weekend.
Justin, last year you had podium finishes. You ran up front, but never were in a position to get the win. Never got a win. 5 minutes left or so in that main event. What are you thinking at that point, knowing that you're about to close this thing out and get your first win, not only of your career, but at Anaheim?
Yeah, it was, you pretty much took the words right out of my mouth there. It's kind of how it went, and I was putting pressure on Austin, just kind of seeing where I was faster and like where I could try and make a pass at the end. And he ended up making a mistake earlier than expected. So once that happened, I kind of just started, didn't slow down. If anything, I picked it up from that point on and just made sure I kept my gap and had a steady lead for the rest of the race. But yeah, I kept looking at the timer. It was going down each lap like a minute, and just trying not to focus too much on it. But it felt like a long race from there on out. So to do it here is pretty special to me. It's a big race, all the hype's around this. So it's a great way to start the season.
Dark Side, Moto Expot Show. Justin and Austin, you guys race each other pretty aggressively. Maybe some tension, I don't know. You guys get out there and you're racing, and when you start racing that way, and Austin, I see you look over, sometimes you start slowing down because you guys are almost riding defensively. Where do you find that line to keep plugging ahead instead of worrying about what the other guy's doing? Either one of you can, or both of you could answer that.
When you get passed by the guy behind both of you, that's the point where you're messing around too much. Where, like, I mean, the heat race thing was like I was focused on Alex, and then I didn't even know where he was, and then so like that was just completely unexpected for me. But yeah, that when you start, I mean, you see it all the time. Like when you start playing cat and mouse with guys too much, and you start slowing down that much, and if somebody catches you, that's the point where you guys are gonna have to figure it out. I mean.
Yeah, it was just like a 3-rider freight train, and I went to set him up. I swept in after the triple, cut up the inside, and went up the inside all the way up the rhythm. I think he heard me like a couple jumps left and started moving over to the inside, and by that point I was already committed and just went in, railed the turn, and I guess there was no really room left for him, so really didn't mean to take anyone down, just trying to make a pass, and yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff happens sometimes, so just move forward from it.
Chris from Cooksey Media. Austin, you had some words for him after that. Can you share any of those with us?
Yeah, I mean, I basically was like, I said that was a bold move for the first race of the season, but I mean, is what it is. I was obviously, I was mad about it. Should have just left, but oh well. I mean, whatever. Whatever.
Okay, so both of you guys raced east last year, this, for both of you. Why did you go west this year?
My team put me west. That's why I didn't really have. I mean, on my team, we don't really have a say. We just, you go here, you go here. That's just how it is on my team. So I don't know.
I think it's pretty much the same for me, but they kind of wanted to be honest, they wanted to split up Dylan and Shane. I felt like they had the advantages. They're established, successful riders in the 250 class. So, I mean, yeah, I've been ready. So I'm not against being west at all. I mean, when you're ready to go racing, you don't want to hear that you're prepping for A1, and then you're like, oh, you're east. So then what do you do with that for the next 6 weeks? You're like, dang, like I'm ready to go racing. I should be racing, but that's how I feel, and I'm glad I lined up.
Jason Wygant from RacerX. You had a little injury from Motocross of Nations. You were obviously ready to race West anyway. So just how did your off season go, and did that set you back at all?
I took 4 weeks off the bike. My hand got just smashed, so it didn't feel right for that amount of time, but just no rush to get back on the bike. It was a long year, and I think I was healed, and I still wasn't on the bike. Just was in no rush to get back on the bike at that point, and I think I got back in November sometime, and just had a good couple weeks on Supercross, and then really started feeling good in December, and just been ready ever since these last 2 or 3 weeks. I've really felt like I've been coming into the season prepared, and last year in the East, it was kind of my rookie year, so I wanted to be winning, but I just wasn't good enough. I was trying too hard, and I was making dumb moves and stuff like that because I wanted to be up there, but it really wasn't there for me to take. So came in more prepared this year, and found I could win these with my skill level now, and I'm confident in my riding and the team. So it's definitely good to get this confidence boost and know I can do it.
Steve Giberson with Vital MX. Austin, it's nice to see you back racing after the summer off, but you had the crash in practice. How or what was the injury, and was there any question whether you would be racing and lining up tonight?
I don't think so. Those whoops were pretty chewed up, and was just trying to go fast through them, and they were pretty close together, and just skipped one early. I was trying to set my front wheel on the third one, and it went over the third one and down in, and just was kind of sketchy, and then crashed and just scuffed my back up, just took the wind out of me, rung my bell a little bit, but was all good. It wasn't really like if I was going to race or not. It's just, if it was going to hurt to race or, but I was fine. It didn't, unless you're hurt that bad, everything usually numbs up when the gate drops, so.
Justin, winning your first Supercross is a huge deal, but then the first thing everyone says is, oh, it's a long season, I can't get too high, I can't get too low. So how do you balance that? Like, obviously you want to savor this a little bit, but you also can't. So what are your feelings, and how are you going to approach this into the week ahead?
Oh, I'm on a high. I'm going to stay on a high. Okay. I don't. That's all there is to it. I'm gonna wherever it takes me from here is fun. It's good to get the first one out of the way. It's a good learning curve for me, and just really happy with the way I rode tonight. I felt like I was patient, felt like I hit all my marks, and I felt like I was consistent. So, yeah, I'm just gonna stay on a high all week, I guess you could say.
One more just for Dylan. You got a good start in your heat race. You seemed really happy about that. Your smile was big. The starts have been a problem in previous years. Did you feel coming into this race that you had that rectified, or is the main event like, still got to go to the drawing board on that?
I don't know. It's a tough question. Main event, I was on the right of Austin, and I just got obviously all shot, and he closed the door, so I was in a bad situation. But I don't know. Yeah, for sure, I was really proud to make a good start in the heat race, because last year was really a problem to start. So yeah, we see next weekend. One good, one bad. We see what I can do next weekend on start also.
Dylan, as the defending champ, does that create more pressure to defend, or take some off because you proved that you're capable?
A little bit both, for sure. When you ride with the number one plate, is adding some pressure. But I just try to stay focused on myself and don't look at anything. And yeah, obviously was good until the main. But even in the main, finish second was not so bad.
All right, thanks, guys.